In this video, we're going to be going through the top 5 reasons not to get the S5 Mark II from Lumix. And the first reason is the high frame rate crop. So the S5 Mark II can shoot 4K up to 60 frames per second, which is sick, but it does have a 1.5 times crop. So your 50mm would turn into like a 75mm. You could see this as positive, get an extra reach, but it can also be a negative, because then if you wanted a 50 at a higher frame rate in 4K, you get a 75. You'd have to use a different lens to then get a 50. It's a bit annoying. Also, there's no 120 frames per second in 4K. It's only in 1080p, which it is what it is. Issue number 2, and it's kind of an I wish, but there's no smart digital hot shoe.
Okay, I didn't say this point correctly because it's wrong. There is a smart top shoe hot shoe mount for the camera, okay? And it does actually have an accessory that is literally what I'm asking for. I think what I meant to say, right? Because here's what Panasonic makes. They make a XLR adapter that, you know, it goes straight on top of the camera, put an XLR microphone, plugs in, and it communicates to the camera through the hot shoe. Perfect, excellent. What I was thinking though, when I originally scripted this point, was how Sony has this shotgun microphone, and you just, you know, you clip that on and boom, and you're good to go. And I was thinking, oh, well, Panasonic doesn't have that, so they don't have a thing for it, even though they have the contacts on the top of the hot shoe for the camera. My bad. Let's change this point into I wish it had this into I wish there's more accessories, because that would be cool, but the fact that this exists for the camera and there's already one accessory made means there's going to be more, so I'm very excited for that.
Issue number 3, this dial placement, it's just awful. There's nothing else to say. It sucks. This dial is mainly used for changing your shutter speed or shutter angle, and that means it's very easy to accidentally change your shutter speed when you're filming. Now, there is a way to fix this. Thankfully, you can lock all the buttons and assign that function to a custom button on the front of the camera, but that means every time I hit record, I have to remember before hitting record to hit that one additional button so I don't accidentally change the shutter speed or shutter angle. It's just not great. Really, this dial should be somewhere else, or it should be designed differently to stop this from happening. Issue number 4, it's the flappy doors. They're a little bit flimsy, you know, they're not as solid as I'd like them to be, and when they're open they just kind of flap around, so they can kind of get in the way. Also, they can be kind of a pain to make sure they're properly closed. It's that kind of rubber seal where you think it's closed, but you haven't actually pushed it hard enough to make sure it's closed. All right, now my final issue, and it's kind of a controversial one because, well, it's the L mount system, the L lenses. Now, let me just asterisk this real quick. I love Panasonic's lenses, right? They are great. L mount lenses are fantastic. But my issue with it, and I'm kind of comparing it here to the E mount and EF mount systems, is there's not enough choice. Especially when you're looking at Panasonic's lens lineup, there's just not enough of a selection to really be like, okay, here's the perfect lens for me or for this situation, which then makes you turn to third party, and again, there's still not really enough choice here. For example, I find it very weird that Panasonic has a 16-35, but it's only an f4, when Sony has had multiple iterations of a 16-35 at f2.8. That said, of course, I'm currently using the f1.8 50mm, and there's a whole range of 1.8 primes from Panasonic, which are all great. So even though there aren't a ton of lenses to choose from, there are some excellent ones. Like I said, this 50mm f1.8 and the 18mm f1.8, the whole f1.8 lineup, actually, they're all fantastic lenses. And I'm sure over the next few years, there will be more lenses to come that'll be like, oh, okay, there's the 16-35 f2.8 that we all know and love, but now it's for L mount.
Okay, this video was actually very nitpicky, because personally I don't think there's a lot wrong with this camera, and there wasn't enough for me to not want to get it, that's for sure. However, if you guys want to see my top 6 reasons to buy this camera, then check out this video here.